Hello, you delightful little freaks. I am Igor, and I would like to be the one to welcome you to another Vincent Vision. Yes? There are many secrets and hidden things here in Darkmoor Village that you might not know about because you were too busy, I don't know, escaping Dracula's wrath or trying not to become a werewolf, no? So I am going to let the doctor of this YouTube page tell you all about them. Vincent will see you now.
Wow. Thanks, Igor. What a collaboration, right, folks? But yes, Igor's right. Dark Universe is one of my favorite lands here at Epic Universe because of its incredible attention to detail, story, and of course, the many winks and nods to the Universal monster movies that inspired this world. In this video, I want to try to show you some of my favorite ones that I've discovered creeping around Darkmoor so that you can see them for yourself when you visit Epic Universe. I'm going to be going pretty in-depth with all the secrets and details here in the Dark Universe, so if you don't want to get spoiled, turn back now while you still can. Let us begin. Now, before we head into the portal, it is important to remember that the Dark Universe is its own version of the Universal monster story. Though there may be references and characters that can seem like they've been pulled directly from the original monster movies, they aren't necessarily connected to the films. Darkmoor and Dark Universe has its own canon. But before we head inside Dark Universe, take a closer look at the portal that leads us there. You might notice some skulls decorating the sides of it, but if you look closely at the skulls, they actually have fangs. These are vampire skulls. And here in Darkmoor, the villagers have a bit of a troubled history with vampires, which we'll talk about a little later in the video. As you enter through the portal, you are starting your adventure in Dark Universe in the graveyard, and if you listen closely in the mausoleum right as you enter, you can hear Igor, Dr. Victoria Frankenstein's assistant, digging for what we can only assume are bodies for her latest experiment.
Hit that one. Who's there? Show yourself.
In the village graveyard, there's a notable gravestone that looks like a young girl holding daisies in her dress. This is a reference to the character of Maria from the original 1931 Frankenstein movie. Frankenstein's monster throws daisies with her in the water and accidentally drowns her by throwing her too. Now, this storefront facade here in Dark Universe references Dr. Jekyll's apothecary, but if you look to the window behind it, you'll see Mr. Hyde has opened up his own shop, sort of, maybe they're the same person. If you hang around the window for a little bit, you'll actually get to hear a secret conversation between Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
You must not show yourself during the day. We're in the company of my friends.
Why do you shut up that voice and speak in hushed tones? I go where I please. I do what I want. You are no better than that Frankenstein doctor.
That Frankenstein is no more a doctor than you are, Mr. Hyde. For our sake, just go to the windmill and tell them I sent you. They will give you a dose of what you need. Just tell them Dr. Jekyll sent you.
Go to the windmill and tell them Dr. Jekyll sent you. Huh. Naturally, I had to go see what would happen, so I went to the Burning Blade Tavern to tell them that Dr. Jekyll sent me. Dr. Jekyll sent me. Unfortunately, the secret drink that you're supposed to be able to order when you say that wasn't quite ready yet because this was being filmed during previews. But I was told that it would be a test tube shot, and you could either get the Dr. Jekyll or the Mr. Hyde. But I was given another secret drink on their menu called the Crossbow, which is a mixture of the Dark Universe Blackberry Mead and Strongbow Cider. And it was pretty good.
And you're wearing a shirt that clearly celebrates monsters. You don't see this as offensive. You don't see how that's insensitive to the monster hunters that have to hunt monsters.
What if this is my to-do list?
Gregor has some prejudice I'm working through, okay? So I apologize if this is a to-do list. I saw Dracula and I just freaked out for a moment, okay,
That one's
man?
gonna take a while. That's probably the last one I'll get to.
Fair, friend, fair. Okay, well, if you need any assistance with your to-do list, you come find Gregor and I'll help you take care of them, okay? Thank you. All right, good luck out there. Absolutely.
This was the shirt I was wearing on the day I was filming the video. But what he didn't know is that I actually do like the monsters. It's not a to-do list. Near the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde window, you'll find a sign to the entrance of the Lion's Head pub. This is a reference to the pub from the opening scene of The Invisible Man. And remember, if the line is too long to meet the Invisible Man, you could always just say, he's right over here. Sometimes you'll see a violinist performing on the balcony of the burgomaster's home. The burgomaster is a title of mayor for villages in some parts of Europe. This is also a reference to the character from the original Frankenstein movie who is in charge of the mob of villagers out to hunt for Frankenstein. If you look down at the bricks on the burgomaster's house, you'll see the number 428. That is actually the birth date of Carl Laemmle Jr., the son of the founder of Universal Pictures, and he was also the head of Universal Studios when many of Universal's iconic monster movies were created. How could you create a Monsters Land without referencing the father of the monster movies? In the center of Darkmoor is a large, ominous, spiked fountain. This is a big reference to the story of Darkmoor Village, which you can ask the villagers in the world about. According to the story of Darkmoor, this well was added by the vampires to spike villagers on and have their blood drained down to the catacombs below. That's why if you come here at night, the fountain glows red. This building here in Darkmoor has a weather vane with a ship on top of it. I think this could be a reference to Dracula. In the Bram Stoker Dracula novel, Dracula arrives to England on a ship called the Demeter. Universal actually just recently made a movie based off that chapter in the book, The Last Voyage of the Demeter. I think with this weather vane also being right next to Dos Steakhouse, it is very likely that this is a reference to Dracula. But tell me what you guys think. Speaking of Dos Steakhouse, this is a restaurant here in Dark Universe that's actually run by vampire familiars, servants of the vampires of Darkmoor. In a coffin near the entrance, you can actually see a familiar that was so well liked by the vampires that they've just decided to keep him around and show us all their favorite familiar. How sweet. I did talk to the familiars inside the restaurant, and they told me they called him Greg. Looking good, Greg. Many of the paintings you see throughout Dark Universe depict historical moments from Darkmoor. If you look closely, many of them have secret faces or hidden creatures inside them that can only be seen if you look at them a certain way. For example, this painting inside Dos Steakhouse has a scary face in the left corner that can sometimes only appear once the lights change to red inside the restaurant. Pretty spooky stuff. Praetorius' Scientific Oddities, the makeup shop in Darkmoor, is a reference to the mad scientist from The Bride of Frankenstein. His picture, and perhaps his body as well, can be found inside the gift shop. And then there's one last thing I want to talk about here in the village. It is the toilets. All of Epic Universe is super well themed, and it even goes to the bathrooms. Here in Dark Universe, the sinks and toilets are black. Pretty fitting for the Monsters Land. When you are in the queue for Monsters Unchained, the portrait of Henry Frankenstein is above the manor stairs. Even though the land is an original story, Henry in the portrait strongly resembles the actor Colin Clive, who played him in the 1931 movie. The original Frankenstein's monster is on display in the queue as well, and also looks very much like Boris Karloff's monster from the original 1931 film. Perhaps this is Universal's way of saying that these ain't your grandma's Universal monsters on this ride, these are scary ones. In one of the last rooms before you get on the ride, you might see some things referencing the monsters you're gonna come face to face with on Monsters Unchained. There is, of course, Dracula's coffin, there's an open sarcophagus that might have held a mummy, there's a destroyed iron cage that could only contain a wolfman, and there's a picture of a beautiful young woman who's meant to be Christine from the Phantom of the Opera. Now, on the ride itself, there are some alleged references to Halloween Horror Nights icons. They can be pretty hard to spot, but above the creature of the Black Lagoon are vines in the shape of a human figure with pigtails. That is meant to be Chance. The icons Jack the Clown and Fear are hidden in the vines as well. Leave a comment down below and tell me if you've seen them. The Burning Blade Tavern is where all of the monster hunters of Darkmoor hang out, and on the wall, they have trophies of their various creatures that they've captured. One of my favorite references is a reference to the Thing monster from the 1982 film The Thing. On the left side of the wall, there is the Thing creature himself, frozen in a block of ice, halfway through a transformation into the Metaluna mutant alien from this island Earth, a 1955 Universal sci-fi movie referenced in the horror makeup show. You know, the one where he goes, "Come here, Earth woman, I want to pinch your booty." Another fun one to look out for that isn't the thing is a very small creature of the Black Lagoon head. So that just tells me that there's more than one creature of the Black Lagoon sulking around. While we're talking about the Burning Blade Tavern, it is called that because every so often, the windmill will light on fire. This happens about every 15 minutes. You'll hear the village bell in Darkmoor go off, and that means that the windmill is getting ready to catch on fire. So make sure you're there when it happens, because it is awesome. Now, we're heading into the forest of Darkmoor, where we have the Curse of the Werewolf. The Guild of Mystics have set up camp here in the forest, and there are some references to the original 1941 Wolfman movie. In the express queue for Curse of the Werewolf, the silver cane that Larry Talbot buys from the antique shop can be seen in the Mystics cart. It's kind of hidden in the back, so you do have to look for it, but there it is. This black and white picture on the traveling cart at the entrance to the ride is a photo of the original actress who played Maleva in the 1941 Wolfman movie, Maria Ospinskaya. And inside the hut where the Curse of the Werewolf coaster passes through, there is a red puffy jacket hanging on the side closest to the forest. That is a reference to another iconic werewolf movie, An American Werewolf in London. The jacket closely resembles the jacket that David, the man who becomes the werewolf, wears in the film. Believe it or not, this actually might be a little easier to see if you get on the ride. Next to Frankenstein Manor is what they call DeLacy's Cottage. This is a reference to the DeLacy family from the Mary Shelley Frankenstein book and the character from the Bride of Frankenstein movie. In the book, this is a family that Frankenstein watches over, and this is kind of where he learns empathy and how to become more human. In the movie, this is where Frankenstein learns that food is good, and also where he learns how to smoke. He goes, "Smoke, good."
And that, my friends, is our tale of the secrets of Darkmoor. Darkmoor is a village that has existed for hundreds of years, so who knows what other secrets might be lying in the catacombs. But for now, in my time at Epic Universe, these are the ones that I've found and I think you'd like. So hopefully you learned something new. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you're looking for more Epic Universe content like this one, please be sure to like, subscribe, tell your friends, all that good stuff. And while you're at it, leave a comment down below and let me know which Epic Universe world you would be most interested in seeing some secrets and fun facts about. But I am gonna get on out of here. I think there's actually a full moon tonight and I gotta go home and hide because I don't want to turn into a werewolf. Ow! But thank you guys for watching another Vincent Vision, and I will see you at the next one. Bye-bye.